Hello, hello. All right, I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes for people to hop on and then we will get going. I think I am crooked. Okay. Oi. There, close enough. So I'm actually very, very excited about this particular live. I get excited about all the lives I do, I feel like. Just because I don't go live unless I have something like I'm very passionate about that I want to talk about. But this is one that I'm even a little bit more excited about than normal because I talk about the Miracle Morning all the time. I get questions all the time about what the Miracle Morning is, and I try to answer them, but there's just so much that goes into it that it's a lot easier. Hi, Anissa. Hi, Ellen. Is it Anissa or Anissa? I'm probably butchering it. I apologize. I feel like I butcher names a lot. But anyways, it's easier to just come on a video and like explain what a Miracle Morning is. It's very simple to set up. And basically, the basics of it and how I got it. There's a book called The Miracle Morning. And he goes into talking about, basically it's a morning routine that amps you up to have like the most positive day that you possibly can and the most productive day. So it kind of goes twofold. And I'm just going to give you 5 very quick steps on how to set your own Miracle Morning up. And then also a couple of tips on, I don't have a pen. Yes, I do. A couple of tips on some things to include in that Miracle Morning that I think just are important. Like everyone's Miracle Morning is going to be different. If you have kids, it's going to look different than if you're a single person. If you're married without kids, it's going to look different than if you're married with kids. If you have teenagers, it's going to look different than if you have toddlers. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think you'll understand more once I get into it. But everybody's Miracle Morning looks a little bit different. But the gist of it is you are getting up before anyone else in your house. And I know, gasp, right? Like, that's unheard of. And you are setting up your mind and setting up like what you're going to get done for the day without any outside interference. Now, in a perfect world, I would do this every single day without my daughter present. But in the real world, sometimes that looks like me having my Miracle Morning space and her sitting right over there. You can't see it, but she has a desk of her own. That she does her own Miracle Morning, which literally is her sitting there quietly coloring if she wants to be in the room with me. Otherwise, she can play with her toys or whatever in her bedroom. But if she wants to be up and like be doing what I'm doing, then she sits very quietly and she colors or reads or does something that doesn't distract me. And you might think, dang, that's kind of harsh. No, it's not harsh because if you don't take care of yourself, you are not running at full capacity to take care of your family. Okay? So I'm just going to jump right into it. Basically, I try to be up no later than 6 o'clock every morning. Ideally, I like to be up at 4, but my husband works third shift, so it's not always possible for me to be in bed by 9 by 10 in order to get up at 4. So he doesn't leave the house until about 11:15, sometimes as late as 11:30. I could go to bed before him, like he has no problem with that, but like this week, that's his schedule for the entire week. So if I did go to bed before him, literally me or my daughter would not see him at all except for on Sunday, which I don't feel like that's fair to any of us. And one of the reasons that I chose to start working 100% from home was to be able to spend more time with my husband and make sure my kid could spend more time with her dad. So that's kind of how our schedule is set up. So ideally, 10 to 4 would be like the perfect sleep schedule. But I don't do that. Realistically, it is usually 11 to 5. My rule is I have to be in bed before midnight and I have to be out of bed before 6. So sometimes it's midnight to 6, but I make myself go to bed because I can very easily stay up and like just waste a lot of dang time. Hey, Sandy. Guys, when you're hopping on, if you can let me know where you're watching from, I would appreciate it. So first thing you do is you've got to figure out like what you want your actual sleep schedule to be. And For most people, myself included, 6 hours is actually the sweet spot. People think you need 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever people are telling you. But 6 is usually the sweet spot. That is where I function the very best consistently. There are days I can get, 4 or 5 and be fine. But if I did that very long, I wouldn't be functioning. And there are days that I really want to sleep in, and I could easily sleep 9, 10, 11 hours. But that's, again, not healthy to do consistently. So nothing wrong with having, sleep in days and whatever. So do me a favor, if you're a morning person, even if you're watching the replay, if you're a morning person, drop me down a 1 in the comments. If you're a night owl, drop me down a 2. Most people are night owls. I'm a night owl. It is proven, however, that people who get up in the mornings versus stay up at night are more productive than people who stay up versus getting up. So that's kind of something where I have put it to the test, and absolutely, it is. But it sucks because I would rather stay up. So first thing I do when I wake up, and this is as soon as my alarm goes off, this is where my miracle morning starts. And just a tip, don't let yourself hit the snooze button. It should be kind of common sense if you want to get up and be productive, but that is something I do not allow myself to do anymore. When I get up, I'm up. But the first thing I do is I have 30 minutes, sometimes it's even 45 minutes of just wake up time. And what that looks like for me is usually, if it's nice weather outside, I will sit on the front porch or the back porch or open the garage and sit there if it's raining or something. And I just let myself sit and drink coffee and just kind of meditate on the day before and reflect on how awesome it was. Even if it wasn't great, guys, I tell myself it was awesome. I pick out the good things that I focus on. That's essential to having a good day, is focusing on the good things from the day before, even if there's not a lot of them. Second thing I do is I shower and get dressed. So if I showered the night before for whatever reason, then I'll just get dressed. But most of the time it's showering and getting dressed. Third thing I do is I fill up my water cup. Usually at that point I've already drank coffee. If I haven't, then I'll go ahead and fill up my coffee cup. And then I take my supplements. I take vitamins because now that I'm older, I realize how stupid I was for not taking them when I was younger. But if you don't take supplements, that's fine. But if you do, if you take them first thing, it's a lot harder to forget to take them. I'm not very good at taking supplements, so I do it as part of my miracle morning. The supplements I personally take is I drink greens every single day. I have PCOS, so I bloat really, really easy. Doesn't really matter what I'm eating, how clean I'm eating. I'm always bloated by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then just the whole energy thing. I get fatigued a lot because of my PCOS, and I have a lot of different hormone issues. So that helps me a lot. And it's just a little powder mix that I mix in with either water or a little bit of juice and chug it. Second thing I do is I take an all-natural anti-stress supplement. You guys that have followed me for a long time, you know that I have struggled with really dark, deep depression for a long time. These kind of helped get me out of it, along with mindset training, which is what I try to pass along. And then a hair vitamin, which everyone that watches my videos always asks me, oh my gosh, how's your hair so long? This is not me. This is all thanks to a vitamin that I take. And then I use really good hair products, literally the best on the market. I am very picky with what touches my head because I've worked really hard to get my hair long and thick and strong after having my daughter. Number 4 is meditating and journaling, which I'm going to come back to and show you exactly what I use. And then everyone that watches this to the end, you're going to get a freebie if you want it. That has to do with the meditating and journaling, because I know for me, that's the part I didn't really understand how to do. And then number 5 is I do my daughter's devotionals. I meant to bring her book in here and I didn't to show you guys, but I basically just have a little devotional. Well, I'll come to that in a minute, but if my daughter gets up before I'm done doing the first 4, then she sits quietly and she will color or do something until I am done meditating and journaling. If she's not up, which she usually isn't, because she doesn't take naps during the day. I purposely have her go to bed between 9 and 9:30, and she wakes up between 9 and 9:30 the next day. So this gives me plenty of time to get up and get myself ready and my own mindset ready before we do anything together, before I get breakfast, before we start school, anything like that. A couple things you might want to add in here is if you work a regular job, like I say regular, I work a regular job, I guess. I work from home. I advertise on social media. That's what pays my bills. So it's something I teach other women and other men, but mainly women, maybe mainly moms, how to do. So we have a lot more free time because we chose to free up our time. But when I used to work like a 9-to-5 job, something I probably would include in here is cleaning my house real quick if I didn't do it the night before, just so it's clean when I get home. Something else that I would have included back then is working out. Now, with our work schedule, if I want to go to the gym, I've got to do it in the afternoon because the childcare is not open that early in the morning. And I know it probably sounds weird because I homeschool, I work from home, I do everything from home, but I am so anti-working out from home, it's crazy. Not that I think it's a bad idea if you want to do it, I just am so distracted. Like I will get down, even like I could have just cleaned my house and I'll get down to do a push-up and I'm like, oh, is there something under the couch? Like I need to move the couch and clean it. Like I am that OCD that working out at home does not work for me. So that's something you may want to throw in there. But for the meditating and the journaling part, this is key, guys. This is if you want something out of life that you don't have, like this is the key to getting it. Especially when you get into the affirmations part and the manifesting part. So I use 2 pages look like this, and I'm going to read what's on them in a minute, but I just made these up on the computer. So if you guys want these to print out yourself, you're welcome to get in my inbox and I can get them for you. Like I'll just send you the PDF. It's, like I said, I just typed them up. There's nothing copywritten about this. So I write the date up here. The very first thing I do is I write down 6 things that I'm grateful for that happened in the last 24 hours. And these are specific. These are, I try not to make them general, like I'm thankful I woke up. You know, I'm thankful that I have air to breathe. Like I try to make them specific. Let me see. I don't know if I'll tell you all of them. I don't remember what I wrote down. But I use the Big Happy Planner. So what I do is I just print these off, hole punch them, and they go inside my planner. Because my planner literally is my life. Like my husband will laugh at me, but like it doesn't matter what he asks me. If it's about a bill that needs to be paid, if it is about the meal schedule for the week, my answer is always, give me a second, gotta check in my calendar because I don't know. Let me just find today's page. Okay, so today I literally wrote down that I am thankful for my job because recently I've been loving it even more just because we've had really, really good weather. So I've been able to work outside. Like I have like a little desk set up in our garage that I open up the garage door, open up the back door of the garage, and the breeze just goes through. My daughter plays right in front. We do school outside. We work outside. Like I've only been in my house to sleep. So for me, that's heaven because I am an outside person. Now for my husband, that wouldn't, like he would hate it. So I know like some of you guys are thinking like, why are you excited to be outside? That's just me. I love to be outside. So thankful for my job. I'm thankful for the house that we live in. We've been looking into buying it. I guess I can say that. Like it's not a for sure thing yet. The landlords know that we're looking to buy it. They're helping us actually. Like they're amazing people. And we just found out some really good news yesterday. So I'm just thankful that basically God is leading us toward where we're going to live in the next year because we have several different options that are all great. Like I was telling somebody, it's not like we have a good and a bad option to where we know which one to take. We're just praying for God to open it up. We have several options that are open to us. Now we're just praying that God like points us towards the one that's the best for us. Number 3 is I'm thankful for the team that I'm working with. Like the team I'm working with are very driven and just, I'm very thankful for you guys. So I forgot I wrote that down. If you're watching on my team, drop a heart down below because I am very, very thankful for you. I'm thankful that Brett is getting so much overtime right now because he went through a very slow season for a while. And with just the amount of money that we're trying to save up, we are working as much as we can. I'm thankful my mom's about to come visit, and then I'm thankful that I got to spend time with an old college friend yesterday. So I sit there, and it usually takes me about an hour to get through the meditating journaling part. My whole Miracle Morning, guys, is probably 2 to 3 hours. And I realize that is not feasible for a lot of you, and that's totally fine. It wasn't for me either. For a while, my Miracle Morning total was about 30 minutes because that's all I could spare. But for those of you who are working your butt off to make more time for mindset, or like me, like I just wanted more time for myself, I'll be totally honest. I started this little advertising gig for a little bit of money. When I realized how quickly I could replace my full-time income, I did. I fired my boss, and I decided I wanted more time for myself. I wanted more time to really sit and be able to like focus and zen. And I'm just all about balance and harmony and not being stressed. Like that is something that I strive for. So again, you're going to take and make your own Miracle Morning that works in your own schedule. The second thing is just a little square that says, how has God made his presence known in your life today? So again, I usually do this around 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. So I go off of what happened yesterday. So I just put down good weather because I live in Indiana. And this weather that we've had for the last 3 days has been literally perfect, which we don't get a lot. Current dream life goal. The biggest thing I'm working on right now is I am working toward getting $10,000 a month in my business, like income after overhead and everything, which we don't really have overhead. When I say overhead, I guess I'm considering taxes that we're saving to pay later. Because we don't have minimums or anything we have to buy, so overhead would be the taxes that I'm saving to pay back Uncle Sam. And then over on the next page is worship. And this is like what God is. What I personally do is I just start with the alphabet. So like the first day I did this, I wrote down all A's. So God is awesome. He's amazing. He's Abba, Father. He's all in all. He's Alpha, like, you know, whatever I can think of. Next day I would do B's, C's, D's. And that's how I personally do it. You can do it however you want. Dream life action goals. This is 3 things I'm going to do today to get me toward that big dream life goal that I was working on. So these are usually 3 business goals. And then health action goal. And for today, we just started a water challenge in, we have a Facebook page that is basically just like recipes and everybody encouraging each other. Guys, this is not, I don't want to name the name of the company, but I get so many people messaging me, oh, do you want to join our Facebook page and have encouragement? And then, oh, well, it's this amount of month because you have to buy all these products. That's not what this is. This is completely free, no purchasing anything. So if you would like into a Facebook page that is legitimately to help you and not to try to sell you crap, like, I'm just going to put that out there. It is free for everybody. So let me know and I will get you added to that group. So anyways, all that to say, we just started a water challenge. So for the next 7 days, drinking at least 8 cups of water. And everyone that does that goes into a drawing for a prize. So it's just something fun to help keep us accountable. So those are the 2 pages. And I literally just go straight across and then straight across again. So I start out by 6 things I'm grateful for, writing down some way that God has made his presence known to me, writing down my current dream life goal, writing down 5 things that God is, so worshiping, 3 things that's going to get me closer to my goal, and then 1 thing that's going to get me closer to my health goal. Even if you are somebody who you're super healthy, you have no weight to lose, no weight to gain, like you are killing it. Like you're still going to have some kind of goal for that day, whether it be stay below this much, this many macros, this many ounces of water, like, whatever your goal is. And then the next thing I do, and this is the fun part, this is the part that I love, is affirmations. An affirmation is you are manifesting. You are speaking something into existence. This could be tangible stuff. This could be emotional stuff. If you're going through depression, you need to be doing affirmations every day and doing I am statements. So I am worthy. I am loved. I am independent. I am happy. I am joyful. I am helpful. I am kind. Just like you would have a kid when you're first starting your kids out on affirmations. For me, I used to do a lot of I am statements because I was really struggling with self-worth. After having my daughter, I gained, no joke, little over 100 pounds in a year Found out I had PCOS, endometriosis, lots of freaking issues that basically like were there before I got pregnant, and just kind of like, oh look, surprise, after having a baby. And I guess that changes a lot of you, or a lot of your body. So I went through a lot of depression. I was already struggling with mindset. I was struggling with a few different things. Those of you that know my story, I'm a former addict. So clearly already had lots of issues mind-wise. So I did that to get my self-esteem back, to get my confidence back, just to get my life back, to be honest. So now my affirmations usually have more to do with my goal. So the ones I wrote down today is I'm consistently attracting high quality people into my business. I got so serious with not letting people join my business that just wanted a handout, because I can talk anyone into doing, I can talk anyone to doing it if I wanted to. I love our company because we don't get paid to randomly sign up distributors. Our distributors don't get better discounts than our customers. That's a huge red flag. If you are told, oh, you should sign up as a distributor because you get a better discount, you better run. Like, that company is no good. There's more into that, but I'm not going to go into it. But all that to say, so I got real serious with, I only let you in my business if you prove to me that you belong there. I literally have a list of qualities that you have to meet if you want to be in my business. You have to have a positive mindset. You have to have a positive money mindset. You've got to be goal driven. You've got to be, I don't even know what that says. Apparently I can't read my own handwriting. Oh, you have to have a no excuse mentality. I couldn't read the excuse part. You have to be a servant leader. You have to be productive. And then the biggest thing is you have to be coachable. Like, do not come in here thinking you know everything, because I guarantee you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing when I started this. Biggest misconception is people think that we're a sales company. We don't sell anything. We literally make our money off of marketing. But if you come in from another company, I almost don't let people come in from another company because I have so much I have to like untrain you on and like relearn you that it's just not even worth it. My other affirmations is my new teammates are coming in with a fire, meaning like they want this as bad as I want this, and they're looking to change their lives, not get rich quick, because that's not what we are. A lot of my stuff today was about my business. I'm an awesome mom. That is something that I tell myself a lot because my kid comes first. Everyone on my team knows this. Never will you find me parking my kid in front of a television so I can work my business. That is not okay, in my opinion. I joined this to be a better mom, not so I could pawn my kid off on somebody so I can, be attached to my phone. My team is on fire. That's an affirmation, but it's also a reality. We're we're just on fire. Like, I freaking love our team right now. It's just left and right. Every time I turn around, somebody new is joining, and people are like, we just had somebody retire themselves from their business. We've got somebody that just had a $200 bonus last week, and they're working on another $101 this week. We've got people ready to start staying home with their kids and getting paid to be a stay-at-home mom. Like, it's just amazing. And then I'm consistently bringing in $30,000 a month. That is one that I'm going to say it until it happens. We have big dreams of building stuff for our church. We have big dreams of being able to travel and visit family, because none of our family has money to come visit us. That's just the family that we're from. So we just have a lot of big things going on. And then the last one on here this is prayer requests for myself. So I'm not going to share all these with you because they're pretty personal. But one of them is, I just asked God this morning, like, help me stay on schedule. I ask him that every morning, I think, because I really do believe that time is the one thing that you can't get back. I kind of joke with people, but I'm not joking. If I will buy you a meal or give you money or whatever, like, don't take it lightly. Like, I do like you, but I give my money away pretty freely. When I opened up my money mindset, it became a lot easier to not be attached to money. I used to have a very bad money mindset, but now just to kind of show you the flip. Used to be, I was that mom that I would spend hours scouring Pinterest and getting as much homeschool stuff as I could for free because I was too cheap to pay for it. Okay, and I'm not saying cheap in a bad way, like I just was a penny pincher. I didn't mind wasting my life away to save a few bucks, but I was so tight with my money, like I was not given money that I didn't have to give. Now, I will go buy anything I need to buy. I'm not making any of my own resources because I value my time way more than I value money. Money comes and goes. I can make as much money as I want. I cannot make more than 24 hours a day. So when you come to that realization, that's when you know you have a positive money mindset. When you know that your money is unlimited, you can make as much of it as you want just by you putting in the work. And I mean, if you think about it, money's printed how often? Like, it's just in circulation. So there's not a, scarcity of it. There's an abundance of it. But you have to be willing to go out there and get it. And if you're closed-minded, and let me tell you, if I've talked to you about what I do and you are so closed-minded you don't even give it a thought, you don't have a positive money mindset. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because I was in your shoes. I totally understand. I used to be there. But having said all that, so when you get to the point where you value your time over your money, that is when you're on your way to living your best life. And I know that sounds so cliche, but that is just the hardcore facts of it. You can ask any person, like somebody made this statement the other day that I was talking with. He said, people have that misconception that if you make money, that you're a bad person and that you don't need money to be a good person. Now, you don't need money to be a good-hearted person or to be a good person. You do need money to be able to do large, good deeds. You can't go build a church when you can't pay your rent. You cannot go fund an orphanage when you can't feed your own kid. So that goes to show you, like, if you're wanting to do big things and, like, be a mover and shaker in this world when it comes to just giving back, you have to have money. But that's not a bad thing. Again, like, you can make as much money as you want. You just have to be willing to do it. And then almost every day I also put on the prayer list for myself of just helping my daughter have a good day in school. Because we homeschool, our emotions play off of each other. So if I'm having a day that's a little bit more emotional, then I can almost bank on the fact that she's going to. So that's why I do this miracle morning. I've done it to where, like, I wake up late and I just skip this, and we almost always have a crappy day in school. Every time a mom comes to me complaining that her kids are just awful, to be honest, and they, like, don't listen during school, I almost always ask her, how are your emotions during the day? Did you have quiet time? Did you spend time with God before you started that school day? And I get it. We're not perfect. That is absolutely not going to happen every single time. But when you do your miracle morning, or you can call it whatever you want, but I call it a miracle morning, and you spend time with God before the day starts, you will have a better day. Your business will be better. Your child rearing will be better. Your relationship with your husband will be better. Like, no joke, it will just be better. The last two things that I do for that is my light fell off. I pray for 5 people that are in my immediate family. Immediate meaning like husbands. I do not have more than one husband. Immediate family meaning like husband side of the family, aunts, uncles, cousins, like any of those. And then I pray for 5 people that I'm not related to, just to get in the habit of praying for other people and other people's needs. And again, that just comes with, I try to be very conscientious. Is that a word? I think. About not being selfish. And again, I think once you get to the point, especially in this business, where you're just wanting, like, give me, all for me, that's when God stops blessing it. And I'm not saying, like, I'm sure there's people making a lot of money that are super greedy, and God has stopped blessing them in other ways that we may not see. But I think to live a truly abundant life, you have to be living a life of service. So that is my journaling, meditation, like, little routine. When it comes to my daughter's devotions, what we do is we pull out her devotional, which is just a daily, like, she has a picture to color or like an activity page or whatever is on for that day, and then something specific that relates to that to pray for. So what I do with her, we pull the book out, she does her little activity page, then she goes ahead and prays. And I teach her the 5-step prayer. A lot of you guys saw it in my stories yesterday. Simply said, she thanks Jesus for one thing. She tells God why she loves him. Like, just saying one thing. She prays for some person in her family. She prays for some person not in her family. And she prays for something for herself. I give her those guidelines. She's allowed to pray for whatever she wants. It is not my job to tell her that her prayer is good or bad, because that is developing her relationship with her God. I don't want her growing up and being one of these adults that's bitter against church and everyone else because something happens at a church or a Bible college or wherever, and they didn't have a relationship with God. So now, like, it just turns into this big bitter thing. I want her to have her own relationship because my relationship is not going to get her very far. So I don't tell her, I give her that guideline because I want her to grow up understanding how to pray. And then as she gets older, like, those lists will get bigger. I can tell you right now, the thanking God for something for the last week and a half has been thanking God that her grandma is coming to have a sleepover. My mom's coming for 2 weeks, so she's excited about it. And I'm not going to tell her she can't thank God for that every single day. Today, she actually thanked God because we were having school outside, which we've been doing. So I don't know why today she decided to thank him for that. But again, she can thank him for whatever she wants. Telling God why she loves her, which is my version of when I worship. But for a 4-year-old, like, if I tell her, oh, say something that God is that starts with A, she has no idea what I'm talking about. So usually that turns into thanking God for something else. Thanking God for someone in her family right now, always her grandma, because that's on her mind. She's coming. She thanks God for her grandma. Or not thanks. She prays for her grandma. She prays for her grandma to have a safe trip. Praying for someone not in her family. There's a little boy at church. His name's Riley. Beth, if you're on here, it's your Riley. And she prays for him every single day. I don't know why. She's friends with his sister, but I didn't think that they were really close friends. I have no idea why. But she tells me, Riley's not my family. I'm praying for Riley. I said, okay, pray for Riley. She prays that Riley has a good day and listens to his mom. And then for herself, right now, she's always praying for either a princess, unicorn, mermaid Barbie, or something like that. I don't know. It's some Barbie that lights up and the unicorn lights up or something. Or she's praying that mom lets her have a sleepover because she's been asking a lot. And I keep telling her, ask Jesus. Maybe Jesus will make a way, because I don't have any plans of having no kids in my house right now. But you never know. Like, God may open a door where we need to let a kid sleep over, and I'm telling my kid, hey, there's your sleepover. Jesus answered your prayer. So we do that. Then we go over her memory verse, and then we sing a couple of songs. I think singing is very important. It doesn't even have to be a church song. Like, we don't sit and sing hymns all the time, although we do have seasons where we sing hymns. This week, we're focusing, if you guys didn't see my lesson plans, go back and look on my page. We're focusing on a patriotic week again, because we just got some promotional material, so that's what we're doing. And so in there came a few different songs, and so we've been going through and learning a few different patriotic songs and, like, putting emotions to them and doing things that she likes. So, and then once she's done with that, we start school. But that is her miracle morning. It's basically, you can call it a morning basket, whatever you want to call it. It's her time to do something that sets the tone for the rest of the school day. And just like my time is my time to do something that sets the tone for the rest of the day. If you have ever, I don't know if you've ever heard the statement. I know because I went to school and I did a lot of business classes, I've heard this statement. But the secretary sets the tone of the office. I don't know how true that is. I've never been a secretary. I've never been in an office before that has had a secretary. But I do know it's true that the mom sets the tone for the school day. The mom sets the tone for the kids. Chances are, if your kids are completely unruly and you can't get them on a schedule, you probably are not very good at yourself being on a schedule. If your kids are not very disciplined, you're probably not very disciplined. And that could be in a lot of different areas. For me, my lack of discipline comes with eating healthy. I got really bad during that year that I was really, really depressed. I got addicted, I would call it, to sugar. I don't know if that's a thing. I think it is. But I know that I just got really bad with eating sugar. So that is something that I had to turn around with Glory and really help her start making better food choices, because she was 3 at the time, almost 4. Like, that's not her fault. That's my fault. So that's something that I had to take a hard look at and like help her find healthy choices that she likes. And I'm still not perfect at that, not by any stretch of the imagination. Same with, maybe your kid doesn't like drinking water. Well, you probably don't drink enough water either. Your kid doesn't ever exercise. Do you exercise? Maybe your kid, you can't get your kid to go to bed on time. Again, that's partly you not being scheduled, partly just being the parent and like making it happen. But I know that's easier said than done. Our kids will mimic what we do. So all that to say, if you can lead yourself, you can much better lead your family. And I've even noticed with my husband that certain things that I've taken initiative to lead myself, not harp on him for, he has changed different habits that have helped him just by me doing it consistently. So absolutely, you are the tone for your household. And that would go for your husband too. Like if you're a husband watching this, you could very easily be the tone for your household if you're there. Now, if you're a husband who's never there and your wife is there 24/7, I'm sorry to say it doesn't matter how disciplined you are and how great you are with disciplining your kids. If your wife's not on the same page, your kids are not going to be behaved. I see this. I've seen this firsthand. I can think of a person right now that the husband is very good at disciplining his kids. I think if he was there full time, the kids would be obedient. But because the wife is not on the same page and quite frankly just doesn't take the time to consistently discipline her kids, the kids are all over the place. They don't listen to the parents, teachers, nothing. To where if the mom was disciplined and if the mom practiced that in her household more, her kids would be more disciplined. So again, and it's not something that you can change, that you can't change either. Like it's never too late to start leading yourself and then having that like bleed over into your family. But I can tell you, if you're pregnant or have a baby, or maybe you don't have kids yet, the easiest way to do it is to get disciplined and get some of this stuff together before you bring kids into the picture. It's a lot easier to train a blank slate than it is to train somebody who has a lot of bad things. Like I've been there, I've done that. I've had, a kid that lived with me that I was not a very good leader of myself. So I clearly wasn't a good leader for her. It was much harder to get her into good habits than it would have been had I had her from a baby. So just a little word of the wise there, but it's also not a lost cause. I know a lot of friends that came into the growth mindset movement later in life and their kids are amazing. Training versus retraining. Yep. They had to retrain their kids, but you know what? They did it. It took a lot of work and their kids are very productive, teenagers and young adults right now. So not a lost cause whatsoever, but the first step is you training yourself. And I know we don't like to hear that because that's a lot harder than telling somebody what they have to do. It's a lot harder to look at ourselves and be like, oh, I suck in this area. Like, let's fix it. No, never too late to start. So I hope that helps. You guys are alive, obviously, but I guarantee a lot of you guys are watching this 6 months and a year down the road because you've asked me to send it to you, and this is what I've sent. So if you are watching it even way later down the road, do me a favor. Just drop me down what date you're watching this because I always think it's cool to look back on these videos and see who's watching them, 6 months, a year, 2, 3 years later. The ones like this that are like not changing because these are principles that are never going to change. This isn't something that is going to go out of style or, this is like a good method. So, all right. Bye, guys. Have an awesome Wednesday.